Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, standing up here really rather reminds me of the telegram I sent MCC while I was on a tour to Bangladesh, which simply said, Summa semper excrutia, sed algeria. Dennis, I know you studied Latin, but that meant we're always in the shit, only the depth varies. I think it'd be very remiss of me not to thank WOCCA, and in particular Jason, for the hard work he's put in for this function. Secondly, but not last for sure, I'd like to thank all you golfers for playing on this beautiful course on a bright, sunny, warm day. Well, it wasn't here anyway. Actually, those who went down, come on, hands up. How many of you went in the lake? No one? No one? Ah, one. Any more? Join me, I was there permanently. Thirdly, actually, I would like to, particularly on behalf of myself, if you like, and on behalf of WOCCA, to thank the Warwickshire County Cricket Club for all the support they give us. I think it's invaluable. Actually, Dennis talked about the hat-trick. In fact, what he didn't say was that Tom Cartwright said, if he gets this, I'll eat my hat. He then proceeded to dive full length at second slip and caught it. Tom, you never did eat your hat. But the point was, I remember very early on in my career, we had a match against Sussex and it was rain affected. And of course nowadays this would be frowned about, but we had early tea on the third day, and I can remember the conversation between Mike Smith and Ted Dexter. Mike, I'll be playing a game or what? What are you thinking then, Mike? Well, I set you 118 2 hours. Yeah, that's fair enough. What do you want? Well, we want 14, 20 minutes. Yeah, that's all right, we'll toss the ball up. And it duly happened. We get our 14, 20 minutes, we set them 180 2 hours. Play proceeds, and then Mike comes to me and he said, John, Sussex are getting a little bit behind the rate, and I think you ought to bowl from that end and I'll have a bowl from this end. Wait a minute, I bowl. It now comes down to the last over of the day. Sussex want 10 to win. 9 wickets down. I'm walking to third man. Where are you going? Well, it's the last over, Captain. I'm after third man. I'm not going to bowl this. I thought Cartwright or Bannister's going to bowl this. No, he said, you fucked the game up, you bowl it. Actually, I was very lucky in career time. We had 3 very good coaches, particularly at school. I had a bloke called Harry Parks, who was ex-Sussex player and coached Somerset for a short while before joining the school. And his last words for me when I went to say goodbye when I was due to leave, he said, John, you will play a higher grade of cricket, but just remember, you can't hit every ball for 4. I never learned. And actually, the second coach there was actually, and some of the Warwickshire boys, the old ones will remember, was Doreen Taylor and then Tiger Smith. Now it came when I was going to sign forms, and Doreen came to me and he said, don't sign, you must play as an amateur. I said, but Doreen, I can't afford to play as an amateur. He said, no, you must. He said, amateurs get paid expenses. And expenses is like a piece of elastic. Then all the people will know, particularly the older ones here, Tiger Smith, what a coach. He was able to put things over to us, and most of us, at some stage of the year, always went to see Tiger. I started batting in the middle order, if you like, and I've got about 5 years running, I've got 1,000 runs. But to be quite honest, batting where I was not happy. I should have been getting more runs, and I blame myself for that. Then the board decided to change the bonus system, where we got 25 points for 25 runs over 150. So it kept going up like that. So you could get 12, 13, 14 batting points, if you like. And Alan Smith was then captain, and he came and said, look, with this change of system, would you like to open? Which I jumped. And I have to say, that changed my career immediately. I started off by opening with Sunil Adley, and then eventually with Dennis. And we built up a great partnership. And I can remember the first time that we opened together, we were walking out, and Dennis said, look John, you've opened before, do you mind taking the first ball? So I said, certainly. So I took the first ball. 2 years later, we were walking out. Why is it you always take the first ball? Because I said, you little shit, chickened out in the first place. My philosophy on batting was to attack. I felt attack was the best form of defence, like it or not. But I felt that that was the case. And, you know, when you're out there and you're facing these quick bowlers, and I apologise to any quick bowlers in the room at the moment, but my philosophy for any opposition quick bowler was that if he had to run more than 20 yards to deliver the ball, he had no brains. So, if he pitched the ball up, I'd look to drive it. And if I succeeded, it went for 4. 9 times out of 10, probably 99 times out of 100, the next ball was short. So if I dispatched that, then he had to start thinking. And if he had to start thinking, I'd won the battle. Imran Khan, that was amazing. Now, he did the LBW for a naught, played for Oxford University off a short run. And after the varsity match, I think the first game back was for Pakistan against Warwickshire. And he marked out a long run. Straight away went through my mind, you cheeky bugger, you think you can bowl quick? Now why? He's entitled to, he's an opening bowler, he can run from where he wants to. But that's upset me and that got me going. And I decided that no way was he going to be allowed to bowl at me. And I have to say, for the next 2-3 years, I did get the better of him. I don't know what would have happened 3, 4, 5, 6 years later when he started to bowl all sorts of ways. The other one I remember greatly was record partnership I had with Rowan Canai. We'd be batting away, and suddenly Steve Rouse is running out with a pair of gloves. So I said, Lolly, did you order some gloves? No, Colonel? No, I didn't. So he called me Colonel from Pune, you see, because of Bombay born. So Steve comes out and he said, hey lads, you're 4 runs short of the Warwickshire record. So now I see the whites of Canai's eyes. And I knew there was a problem. He said, Colonel, singles. I said, all right, Larry, singles. So we're walking back, he's facing. He turned around and he said, Colonel, don't forget, singles. I said, all right, singles. He gets down, he's just about to take go, and he shouts down the pitch at me, Colonel, singles. I said, all right. The bowler bowled, and he hit it straight out the ground. And I said, come here, you, come here. I said, I thought you said singles. He said, yes, man, but you know Bobby shit. Actually, one disappointment, I suppose I had, I wouldn't say regret, it's a disappointment. It was on the tour of West Indies when our middle order hadn't been performing at the best, and they decided to drop boycott down the order to 4. And I was in the team, and Dinesh said, "You're number 3." And I was disappointed because I thought he would have given me the chance to bat with my county opening partner, Dennis. But for some reason, Dennis thought he was going to open. The way through my mind was, there's another 2 wickets for the Quicks. But there we are. That's the only really regret I have. Yes, I did umpire. Yes, I did coach. And I have to say that I'm very pleased indeed that all my working life, or near enough all my working life, I was paid for my hobby. Not many people can say that. But as I look around the room, rather reminds me of the 4 ages of cricket. One is the innocence of youth. The age when you arrive at the ground half an hour before the match is due to start. The age is, it's only a question of whether you bat number 1 or number 2. Whether it's a question as far as bowling goes, at which end you open. Where you walk as of right to cover point. Where your definition of a quick single, not the 6th ball of the over, Dennis, is a fairly thick edge to first slip. When to wear a box is a sign of extreme effeminacy. And when after the game you jump into some fast sports car, in the passenger seat is a delicious blonde, and you drive away happy at the thought that she will be easier to obtain, that the 100 the scorer was just inscribing against your name. Second is the age of discretion, or perhaps it's the age of maturity. This is the age when you arrive at the ground just as the umpires are walking out. The age when with difficulty you can be persuaded to bat as high as number 6. When you accept and sometimes get a couple of overs before the stumps are drawn. The age when to forget your box is worse than forgetting your wife's birthday. The age when after the game you slip off quickly home to your wife to avoid another row. Third is the age of senility. This is the age when to be placed number 10 is perhaps a shade too high. Where to be asked to bowl is a deliberate and calculated insult. The age when fielding is only possible with the feet. The age when you define a short single as a very slow hit ball to very deep extra cover. The age when your box becomes a permanent appendage to your truss. The age when after the game you may be found sitting on the pub harbouring improper and alas, impractical thoughts about the aged and very unattractive barmaid. You're getting there, lads. Fourth is the age of retirement, when no longer can you play. When you perambulate around the perimeter of the ground, a magnificent silhouette against the dying sun. When you pour out to anyone foolish enough to listen an unending stream of apocryphal stories of your youth. The age when your box reposes on your dressing table, a receptacle for spare collar studs. The age, alas, when sex is no more than a Latin numeral. Once again, gents, thanks for playing golf, thanks for turning up today. It's been a great day, it really has. It's been most enjoyable. And I leave you with 2 thoughts. It matters not who won or lost, but how you place the blame. Remember that there is no such thing as a crisis in cricket, only the next ball. Thank you.